What's up, guys? It's Frantic. I can't even take it with a straight face. Hi, guys. I'm Frantic, and this is...
Grunt. Hi.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Frantic Talks Podcast, episode 34. Sorry for that abrupt start. It was a callback to my old days of YouTube videos. Don't go look at those. Actually, you can. They have decent amounts of views. I don't care. Either way, welcome to the Frantic Talks Podcast, episode 34. Once again, I'm Frantic, along with my lovely co-host...
Grunt, who can't figure out how to turn up his volume on his laptop right now.
And we're here to talk about video games.
And junk.
So, it's really weird not starting the podcast off like that. It's just so really weird starting though.
Yeah, it definitely did seem weird.
Sometimes we just gotta spice it up, keep you on your toes. Anyways,
Right? Exactly.
we got a lot to... Actually, we don't have a lot to talk about today. But it'll be fun to talk about the things we do have to talk about. Just gonna make up phrases as we go here. Anyways,
Might as well.
start off like we always do. How was your week, Grunt?
Pretty good. I spent it doing mostly odd and end things.
Yeah.
What game time I did have, I've spent still slugging along at Halo 2 on Legendary with Freak Show.
What mission are you guys on?
Well, good news is we're halfway through the game right now. We're
Awesome.
on Delta Halo? No, we're actually on a level Regret.
So that's after Delta Halo.
Yeah, so we're technically just barely past the halfway point of the game.
Nice.
We've kind of learned how to speedrun the game. We're not good at it, but we've kind of have.
Well, if I could help you, I would, but we don't really seem to get along in the MCC.
No, we don't.
Our connection doesn't.
Yeah.
If last night was any evidence.
Grumpy. But yeah, I will be an insane person by the time we're done with that. Halo
I
2 on
believe
Legendary is difficult.
If you guys start on Halo 3, you should definitely let me join in, because you can co-op 4 people, and I need to do all of them on Legendary too, so...
Oh, wow. We've already done Halo 3. Halo 2 is
Oh
actually the
my
only
God.
game I have left, but
Well
sure
then,
I'm sure we can work something out.
you suck. Both of you.
Fair enough. It's true, actually. Other than that, I got the chance to play one of the games that I think it was a couple episodes ago. I mentioned I won. Dex Enhanced Edition.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's actually, out of the two of them that I got, it's actually the one I've had the most enjoyment out of. The other one, Carmageddon Max Damage, is basically just death race the game. Yes,
That's fun.
It's fun to play, but it's like that's it. You know, it's just death race the game. So it's fun to play when you have nothing else to do or you have a very short time to play. But Dex is, you could say probably a mashup of a couple different genres, because it's a side scroller for sure. It's like an old school side scroller that was not coming out right. But it has like RPG elements to it and a little bit of open world to it. You know, you can go to the various zones in the game, and you know there are buildings and that you can enter in and explore them and find stuff and that, and it's pretty cool so far. They make a lot of references to it's not prostitution.
Really?
Yes, like a lot of them. So
That's interesting.
that's yeah. The story so far is picture something like the Matrix, where you know you have people that connect to the cyberspace and you know they do all kinds of fancy weird things and that. So that's interesting. I'm still trying to figure out what all the prostitution has to do with it, but whatever. Maybe that.
Maybe it just doesn't have anything to do with it.
Maybe it will. Maybe it
Just want
won't.
to
I
throw
have no
prostitution
idea.
into it.
It's like everywhere. So that's really my only thing I have. It's not really a downside to the game because I can't diss the game on that aspect. It's just like, what's it there for? But,
yeah, it's like, why is this a thing?
yeah. Overall, you know, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it's probably out of the two of them that I have, it's the one I've gotten the most enjoyment out of so far.
Right. Nice.
And then I downloaded the game preview trial for We Happy Few, which is pretty fun.
Right.
So,
Do you want to talk about that now, or wait till I talk about my stuff?
I'll go on for a little bit with that, most likely. So we can wait to talk about that later.
Yeah, that's how I'd figured it would happen.
Yeah, yeah, but
because that's a big game that everyone's talking about because it just came out recently, like Tuesday, essentially. I think it's the day it did.
Yeah, I think so. Tuesday.
Yeah. But it's out early access on Steam, and then game previews. Is that what it's called on Xbox?
Yeah.
So for those of you wanting to try it,
yep,
it's not actually official release. It's a preview / early access.
Yeah, yeah. It's they're referring it to an early access alpha on both systems. So both.
Yes,
Steam
yeah, I've seen.
And,
I've seen the word
Xbox.
alpha thrown around a few times. So
yeah.
Okay, cool. I definitely want to try it, but we'll talk about that in a little more. Is there anything else from your week that stands out, or is that about it?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Quiet and uneventful.
I wouldn't say uneventful, but, somewhat fun and decent in my mind.
That's true.
My week, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I can start with last night. Grunt and I and Freak Show were playing Griffball last night, Halo 3 Griffball. And some stupid shenanigans occurred, but it was fun, nonetheless.
Very stupid shenanigans.
I got an extermination off of one ball punch. And I uploaded that. Not uploaded. I made it into a GIF and submitted it to the subreddit for Halo.
Oh my god.
It's got like 6 or 7 upvotes. I don't know. Either way.
Nice.
If you want to see that, I'll probably end up either tweeting it, or if you just tweet at me and say, I want to see it, I'll show it to you, because it's really funny. It reminds me of one of the very first Griffball highlights they did back in the very first season. I don't remember who got the punch, but they did exactly that, and they punched one dude and everybody died. And it was really funny. And it was like, oh my god, that's like a super punch. So it's kind of cool to do that.
Yeah, I was standing behind you because I just respawned and started walking up there, and you punch one dude and the entire team is dead, and your name appears like 4 times, and actually 3 times because the first time it scrolled off the way the kill feed is in Halo 3. So
yeah, it was really funny. Other than that, it was just pretty fun to do that. Just play Halo 3 Griffball again. I actually did that for most of my morning today until we record this. Actually, doing it with Freak Show. Jumped into a game Action Sack because we literally sat waiting to find a game for 20 minutes and didn't find one. Hopped into Action Sack, played one round, and then jumped back into Griffball and found a game. So I don't know what happened there. Just goes to show, Master Chief Collection 2 years later. Hey, it's still broken.
Which sucks.
Which is really fucking stupid in my mind. But
I had to get the ability to play Halo 2's campaign with anyone online. I had to install it on a totally different console. No idea why.
That's really stupid.
Hey, we'll go with it.
It's just so annoying that it's still just broken. They just neglected it and don't care at this point beyond adding a few new things to it to get people to maybe play it. But
right, because they made some matchmaking changes to it. Hence why Halo 3 Griffball is now its own playlist.
And Action Sack, and I think Infection's on there now too with the Halo 2 variant, because that's where Infection started from Halo 2.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty interesting in my mind.
I know
that they're taking it that route instead of let's fix the game. Nah, let's just add more stuff to it. That'll fix it.
Let's just keep making people want to play it.
Yeah, but then they play it and they're just like, now I remember why I don't play this.
Exactly.
I played one campaign mission this morning to get the skull from the Gravemind campaign mission in Halo 2. And I was like, oh, I can keep going to get the last 3. I only need 3 more. And then I was just like, I don't want to. So, other than that, my week was interesting, I guess. I'm trying to think what I did. It was really just watching a few TV shows. I don't know. I played a little bit of Rocket League, but I don't know if it was the last episode of the podcast I had played before then. I don't remember when I had mentioned playing Rocket League.
I think you mentioned it last week, too. So
yeah,
you either played it twice or you only played it once.
I thought I remember saying something along the lines of don't use boost.
Exactly.
So I did say, okay. So that wasn't really this week. I already forget most of the shit I did this week. I think I went out and got drinks and stuff with a friend at one point, and that was about it. I didn't do jack shit this week. Although I made sure my week was scheduled busy. I'm a weird individual. The one thing I did do that I do remember, and that I'm going to talk about to kick off the podcast here beyond the whole what did we do this week, is this lovely thing on screen now, the Vive. The HTC Vive specifically was the one I got to play with, but this is virtual reality. I was very skeptical about virtual reality. I think honestly, when the last time we've talked about VR, I went on board to say I would not do it because I don't. It was something along the lines of I was talking about Sword Art Online, where it's like if it got to a point where I didn't have to move around, I would totally do it. Which sounds very weird when you think about it, but if you watch that anime, it actually makes more sense. But it's like 10, 20 years in the future. So my buddy was like, yeah, I got the HTC Vive. You should come over and play. And I'm like, all right, I'm not doing anything. I guess I'll give it a shot. Don't judge something before you do it, right?
Exactly.
It was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever done. I'm not gonna lie. I was so skeptical about it. Like I thought it'd be stupid because I walked in and I even took a Snapchat video of it. I don't have the video anymore, and I just put a caption that said "the future of gaming." While my friend's just got these bulky ass goggles and two little sticks in his hand, and he's like looking around and like just pointing at things with these sticks, and I'm just like, oh, this is so stupid. Why am I doing this? And then I put it on, and then he boots me in and puts me in Iceland. And I'm literally standing in an open field in Iceland with sticks below me that I can throw to this little robotic dog with me. And I can watch like birds fly over my head, and I'm just like, holy shit. It was crazy. And it really messes with like your inner ear. Because he has like these really crazy good headphones. Like, I'm wearing Turtle Beaches, but he's got like Logitech surround sound, 7.1, all this crazy stuff on him. So, like, you get all these ambient sounds, and it sounds like you're literally standing in this field because you can see it. That's all you can see. And you're just looking around at this crazy field like, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
So that was really cool. And then I jumped into a couple other games. Particularly, I think it actually might be on this next slide here. None of these games are the ones I played, but I jumped into Valve's lab or whatever it's called, which is kind of like here's demoing all this cool stuff you can do. And there was this archery game where you're defending a fortress from barbarians.
Wretched barbarians.
That was so fucking sweet. Like, you have to do all the motions with like the bow and arrow and stuff, so my arm started getting tired after I was like firing like 30 arrows every like minute. And what was really cool is I could like you can look all like it's a 360 type thing. Like you can move all around and look all around. If I had an arrow and I held it over fire, it'd light the arrow on fire. So there's this little fire behind me that I can just turn around, put an arrow into it, and come back and shoot the arrow.
That actually sounds really cool.
It was crazy. I really don't know how to describe it beyond that. It was really, really cool. And there was a couple other mini games I played that I didn't particularly go crazy over, but that bow and arrow one was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There was the NVIDIA Funhouse, I think is what it was called, but it was essentially like going to a carnival and playing carnival games. NVIDIA doesn't really design games. It was more of a tech demo again. And that was interesting. Didn't really care for it. It was kind of fun to have like little 6 shooters and shooting, doing the essentially like pull and then you shoot it. That was kind of cool. Then the only other thing I played was Surgeon Simulator, and then this game that reminded me of Minecraft, but it was with grappling hooks, which was really fucking crazy. Like that one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was very, very bad if you weren't used to VR. And it even tells you that. It's like, this is an advanced VR game. If you haven't gotten your legs in VR yet, don't do it.
Oh, and it's, at least you're honest.
It's basically because you move, you look around and, you know, grapple and stuff, but to move your character, you don't walk, you use the controller. So it really messes with your inner ear when you like move really fast and you're not actually moving, but you can hear the wind flying through your face essentially. Really fucks with you, and it gave me motion sickness by the time I was done. But it was a really cool little game because you could like grapple onto trees and like swing around and try to like get to really high platforms and stuff, and trying to like carry your momentum. It was really cool. So I played that for about 2 hours at most, and it was honestly just one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. It is not cheap. I don't want to say how much this thing ran my friend because I don't want people being like, man, he's got like a super rich friend. But it is not cheap. He had to get the new 1080 graphics card from NVIDIA, and some of the games are recommended to be run on 2 of those.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, if you want to run them on the highest settings, which is nuts because one 1080 can run the new Doom game at 200 FPS on the highest settings. And this is just like, you should use 2 if you really want the experience. It's like, oh my god. These are really intense games, like, graphically.
Oh, man. So, I had the opportunity to check out, I think, the Oculus several months ago.
Yeah.
Went to a graduation party of a friend, and he has it. He has had one of the early release... it almost seemed like it may have been like one of the development kits for
Yeah.
Oculus. But
Yeah, I remember my friend, someone at work telling me about that.
yeah, it was cool. At that point they were still in the early stages of it, so there weren't really any games out there. It was more so just basic tech demos and stuff like that.
Right.
Because what I played on it was a roller coaster simulator. You got on the roller coaster and you rode around it, and it was very cool. You could.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It was, yeah. I've never been on a roller coaster, but myself.
Oh, really?
No. The nearest amusement park that has one of those has a really nice roller coaster is like 3 hours away.
About to say Chicago, Six Flags?
Uh,
I've actually been to that one.
yeah, it would either be Chicago or Des Moines, one of the two.
Oh, I forgot about
Unless there's one closer than I don't know about, like Iowa City maybe. It's probably one in Iowa City, which is only like 45 minutes, an hour away.
that. Feel really bad now. I'm going to fly you out here and we're going to go to Kings Island. It's like an hour away from me.
All right.
Not even an hour, probably 40 minutes.
All right, sounds good.
Fly out to Cedar Point. It's 3 hours north from here. Now everyone knows where I live. Well, not
Oh,
really,
no.
in the city. As if my bio doesn't tell you that on Twitter. Okay, anyways, VR, really fucking cool. Would absolutely recommend it when the price kind of drops because it's super expensive.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people argue about that though, that the relative price of the VR headsets and that isn't that bad when you look at the setup you need to run it, the PC you need to actually run it.
Well, the graphics card alone usually would be over $1,000, but because of how NVIDIA produced this graphics card and researched it, they are able to sell it for $600 roughly.
Yeah. So
And I was honestly thinking about picking up the same graphics card because I wanted to upgrade mine. I'm running two graphics cards on my computer that are good. Don't get me wrong. It's just about time for an upgrade. It's like, I've had a 360 for a while. I should probably get an Xbox One. It's kind of the thought process there.
yeah.
Granted, I
So
haven't
long
had
time to upgrade.
I haven't had the graphics cards for 7 years or however long I had my 360 before I finally got a one. But it's been, I don't know, almost 3 years since they weren't even new at that point. They were a hand-me-down graphics card, so they're old. I'd say they're probably 7 years old, but they can still run stuff 60 frames per second on some pretty crazy games like Battlefield 3. So I feel like they're pretty good, but they're older. So I was looking to get the new one, just be like, yeah, Doom at like 200 frames per second. Why not?
Because why not?
Because reasons. I don't even have a 4K monitor, so it wouldn't even be worth it, but gotta get that too. Anyways, so let's talk about We Happy Few. Speaking of segues.
Great segue.
You know me.
Yeah. Where to start with it? I guess I should start with a brief overview of the game itself.
Yeah, because I only know basically what it says on the Steam page. I have the Steam page up, by the way. I only know what it says. It's a survival game based in like 1960s England, but an alternate version where people are forced to be happy or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like right now in the early access version of it, there's no storyline or anything to it. They don't have that in the game yet, so I imagine they're probably not finished with it. Speculation, but it's basically just the intro, which kind of shows you how to play the game. It shows how you got to where you're at the start of the game, as an introduction would, rightfully. But yeah, basically you're set in like an alternate reality, 1960s dystopian England.
Okay.
And it's from what I've gathered from trailers and reading about the game in general, there are people have figured out a way to make everyone happy all the time. It's in the form of a medication called joy. You have to take your joy, otherwise you're called a downer. Makes sense, I guess. And that's about it. Your character you play as decides to not take his joy and fight the system, and from what I was able to play of it in the early access that I got, someone finds out that you didn't take your joy, and now you're like one of the more wanted people in the city or whatever, because you're supposed to take your joy. That's basically what it boils down to.
Gotcha.
So I guess that's a brief overview from what little we know about it so far. When it says survival game, it really is a survival game. I've never really played one until now, so it's a little bit more difficult to just jump right in.
Well, I mean, I think Fallout's technically a survival game
Yeah, this is more so.
because of the limited resource idea in Fallout, where you have to like loot bodies and stuff. But glitches aside, to where you can buy whatever you want.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit more of a hardcore kind of survival game because unless you play Fallout on what is it, survival mode, where you have to worry about food, water, and rest,
Oh yeah.
you don't have to worry about that. In We Happy Few, you have to worry about all of that. You have to worry about injuries and all that stuff too. So
it's for the true survival lovers.
yeah,
With also a 1984-esque storyline. It
yeah,
would seem.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
You can definitely tell from right now, based on the early access, that it is just that. It's early access. It has its glitches in that. Some of the textures don't load properly, but it's early access. You can't fault them on it. It'll change over time.
Right. Hopefully.
Hope that's true. I hope it does. I'm really curious as to what kind of open world exploration you can do because I was able to roam around for pretty much. That's what I did most of my time. You escape the one part of the city, and you're in a sewer tunnel. You get out of there, and then you have to find your way back to the city. I'm assuming is what it is, how it will turn out, based on what I played of it. And they let you pretty much roam wherever you want to in that area. The only thing you have to keep in mind is food, water, sleep, injuries, stuff like that. There's quests in that you can do. Let's see what else. There's something else. Yeah, maybe there wasn't. But anyways, I'm curious to see how far much they expand on the exploration that you can do, because in order to craft stuff, you have to find all the materials and all that. But it seemed in my time playing it that I was scavenging for resources to keep alive instead of actually getting to explore and search. So that's something I hope they tone down a little bit. I shouldn't have to run around for 5 minutes and have to go to sleep because I'm tired, unless maybe I didn't sleep.
Yeah, I can see this being annoying.
But I think that is something they will change later on. So overall, from what I played of it, I like the game. I'll probably end up opting in for the early price tag for early adopters and all that stuff. So
Is the price tag on it now mean that we get it if we pay for it? Like, it's $30 now. If we pay 30, do we get the full thing, or do we have to?
the way it worked, the way the game preview on the Xbox One works, I don't know if it's the same way for Steam's early access, but if you buy it for $30 now, you own the game. And the way when updates for the game are released, that's how you will eventually, in the end, by the time the game is finally released, get the final game. Just basically, you buy the game now in its form, and you get the updates for it later on.
Oh, okay.
So, whereas if you wait until the game's out, it might be, $60 or more expensive by the time it comes out.
Right, I think it works the same way on early access, so.
Yeah, so.
Oh, cool.
Overall, I like it. It's right now, I think it's geared more so for people that want to play a true survival game. So you compared it to Fallout 4. I haven't actually played Fallout 4's survival mode, so I'd have to, from what I've heard, I'd have to liken it to that probably, to where you're getting, scavenging for all the supplies you need to build things, which that's in any difficulty Fallout 4, but Fallout.
Right.
But, worrying about food, water, sleep, and all that stuff is more comparable to Fallout 4's survival mode, so.
Yeah. The only thing I wouldn't like, I don't think about the true survival, like, hardcore versions is just the, kind of like you were saying, where it's like, make sure you sleep, eat, and all this other stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
I really hope
I can simulate all that in real life. Why do I need to,
exactly.
why do I need to do that?
Yeah, I can see that. I hope that doesn't change or doesn't affect exploration. That's my biggest concern right now. I think it'll be a good game, but how much is worrying about the surviving aspect going to get in my way of exploring the decrepit house that's over there in the distance that, maybe that does have something I want.
Yeah, kind of like, maybe if they do it right, kind of like Minecraft, where
Right.
you have like you don't necessarily need sleep, but you do have to make sure you have energy by eating food, and then once your energy is full, you regenerate health. Uh, so you gotta wonder if they might take some sort of inspiration from that, and maybe try not to be too, because like in the Minecraft system, unless you like start sprinting a lot or something, you don't really run out of energy.
Right. Yeah.
You do, don't get me wrong, it's a lot slower. You could easily spend a whole day-night cycle exploring before you have to really start worrying about sleep and stuff.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so cool. It sounds like it's going to be a really cool game. There's a lot of hype surrounding it, so you got to hope it lives up to it.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I'm happy with it right now. So.
It's good. Yeah. Overall, I think if I scroll down here on Steam, it's got some pretty good reviews. It's where's it at? Thought I had it up. I read through a couple of them while I was sitting here, but it was like primarily positive reviews. So that's always good. I scrolled out. There it is. Very positive. About 700 reviews. I don't remember what percentage very positive is, but it's a good amount. 88% is what it says.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Oh, wait, never mind. That's that specific review. Whoops.
Well, that's not helpful.
Still, very, very positive is good. It's not mixed.
Right.
It's a lot of people like it, so cool.
Right.
All right. We got a couple more talking points here for we'll be. Also, what was that loud noise that I heard not too long ago?
That was a horn outside.
I like kind of just brushed over it as I was talking, but I was like, did I just hear a horn go off?
It
I just
was a
heard
horn.
Go off.
My
Oh,
parents
man.
came home for something, evidently.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to jump on to just a quick update on Destiny. Hopped on last night, and I had saw tweets about this, but I had an exotic,
Like,
class item in my postmaster, and I was like, what did I do to deserve this? It also gave me a legendary emote, which is the sprinkler. For watching on screen, I'm doing the sprinkler here. Gave me that.
oh my
And
god.
I was like, what the hell? And then I remembered, oh yeah, someone was tweeting to Grunt in a big conversation about how they just kind of found that in their postmaster.
Oh yes.
And apparently people were receiving, what is it, Taken King Collector's Edition stuff?
It is. It's the stuff that you got for buying the collector's edition of the Taken King. It's basically class-specific item focused around the new subclasses for the Taken King. And it's also, a class-specific emote and shader that you got. You could buy that stuff if you didn't buy the collector's edition. You could buy that stuff for an extra $20.
So if you just don't want the cool version of the
Yeah.
Taken King,
Pretty much, you can just buy that stuff extra. So
I wouldn't do it, but
yeah,
some people might.
basically what happened is it sounded like Microsoft done goofed somewhere
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just gave it out to people at random. I think we mentioned it a couple months ago, or when it happened. They had the same thing happen with Fallout 4. So
I don't remember that specifically, but
yeah,
I believe you.
Fallout 4 has basically made both the normal and the gold edition of Fallout 4, which has like the season pass and all the extra content for it,
Yeah.
was made free, and a lot of people bought it, or didn't buy it, downloaded it rather. So no,
Yeah. That would definitely be a Microsoft issue, not like a Bungie issue, because
Right.
you activate your codes, you have to go through the marketplace, which is controlled by Microsoft. So, yeah, they done goofed, clearly.
Yep.
And they even tweeted out that the bug had been fixed, like Microsoft support or Xbox support or whatever you want to call it. They did tweet out that it was fixed. I still have it though, so I think they kind of just were like, if you got it, you got it. If you didn't, sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I like the Stormcaller bomb. That's pretty cool. That's what I'm using right now on my Warlock. So
Yeah, the hunter cloak that I got seemed pretty cool, and I infused it so I could have an exotic cloak.
the it was $20 to buy it, and really the only reason I would have bought it was because of the Titan mark, and the Titan mark looks cool. It's basically the solar hammer that you get just lashed right onto your waist.
Oh man, I feel like I should go check and see if I gave it to my Titan.
If you got the Hunter cloak, I imagine you would, because I got all three of them. On
Oh, you got all three?
my
Okay.
characters, yeah.
Well, there's a good chance I got all three.
Yeah.
So if you got that in your Postmaster, you get to keep it, it looks like.
Congratulations.
I feel like they wouldn't rip it away from us, especially if people infused it the moment they got it, like I did. So
I waited a few days before I infused mine just to see if it was going to get yanked immediately.
yeah, I was going to do that, and then I was like, fuck it. Just did it.
What am I out? Wow.
What was that? Oh my god.
Wow.
What was that?
It's kids over in the parking lot across from my house playing in it.
Playing Pokemon?
I have no idea what they're doing. Or they're murdering each other, so...
Oh, they're murdering. I think they're murdering each other. That is the
this
most likely.
has been an interesting episode.
This has been one of the most interesting episodes, and it wasn't even like the goal.
Nope.
Jeez. God, that's
See,
funny.
that's why you gotta start it off like you did.
Yeah, exactly. I got to start off from, hey, what's up, guys?
There we go. I am
Oh,
going
jeez.
to
Okay.
close that window, though, now.
Yeah, all right. I got two more things I'll mention here. One of them, it is the lovely Humble Monthly Bundle. The Humble Monthly Bundle, we've mentioned it before. I subscribed to it. Got the one from last month. You have 5 more days. 5 days, roughly, honestly, it's 6 days at this point, with how many hours are left. It's the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer starter pack. I don't know how interested in it everyone else is. I'm not particularly interested in getting a Call of Duty Black Ops starter pack, although the fact that there is a bow and arrow in the multiplayer makes me kind of want to play it. Kind of partial to that kind of stuff. But if you want to get an in on it, I mean, you get a bunch of free stuff for $12 a month, and it's a lot of free stuff, like last month's. I mean, some money goes to charity, but also they give you, like, I think I got $100 some odd worth of games, maybe more.
Cheap, that's a lot.
It's honestly the Loot Crate of video games, and it's great. So I would absolutely recommend it if you do Loot Crate like type stuff. So side note about Loot Crate, there's a hipster Loot Crate. Did you know that?
Oh, God.
Well, okay. I shouldn't say a hipster Loot Crate, but that's basically what it is, because one of my friends has subscribed to it. It's called a Spoke something. I think I want to say Spoke Box or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, he just got his, like, I was hanging out with them, and that's how I found out about this. It had, like, a coffee grinder startup kit. So it's essentially, you got this, like, coffee grinder, all the appropriate stuff to grind the coffee beans, and some, like, really cool mugs and shit. And it was just like, alright. he got like I think at one point he got this really hilarious hat out of it. And it wasn't like it said anything funny. It was just this really weird hat. And he described it as me as the hipster Loot Crate, so I was like,
Oh, my God.
that's interesting. So
That is something else.
all right, last thing we're going to talk about. This is a really interesting story that I've honestly only read about 2 articles about, but it's interesting enough to at least mention. 38 Studios, and what they're known for was Reckoning. I think is the game, is what it was called?
Amalur? I saw something. Amalur?
Yeah, okay. So 38 Studios is owned by Kurt Schilling. If you don't know what Kurt Schilling is, he was a baseball player from like the 90s and early 2000s.
That's why I recognize the name.
Yeah, oh yeah, Amalur developer. Yeah, he was a he was a pitcher, and he was really good, but he also got in trouble for like steroids and stuff, and also has said some really, really bad stuff on Twitter. He's one of those guys that didn't have a filter. But anyways, he owns 38 Studios, and he relocated them to Rhode Island. And with this deal, the Rhode Island Economic Development Coalition, or Corporation, sorry, agreed to a $75 million loan. Okay, well, if you know how a loan works, typically you pay it back with interest. All right, whatever. Well, Schilling had to file for bankruptcy, and the studio went under. And that left this loan to be paid by the taxpayers of Rhode Island, who probably weren't very happy that a video game development company just cost them $75 million. I know I'd probably be a little on the upset side.
Definitely wouldn't
So there was this big investigation into it to see if there was anything criminally charging, or worth charging criminally, basically. And they pretty much ended up saying, yeah, bad business deal doesn't mean anything illegal happened. And that's pretty much the gist of the story. I mean, you could go on and try to understand all of the deals that came out of it, why they were relocating, why he went bankrupt. But it's just an interesting story of video games costing taxpayers of Rhode Island $75 million, essentially, because they just went under. I don't remember why they went bankrupt. I think they just didn't make any good games. Something like that.
Interesting.
So that's, yeah. It's kind of sad, but yeah, it's Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. So they kind of put all their eggs in one basket there, and then went under, and then cost taxpayers money.
Yeah, I mean,
the downside of video game development, where you have to invest so much money, and you don't even know if it'll be worth the time.
Yup. And then all of your investors lose that money if you don't make a popular game.
Yep, and that's why we get all of these repeat games, and this goes into the discussion of two things. First thing, game development is becoming such a hassle and such a time consumption thing that it's so hard to take risks, unless you're an indie developer who just wants to make a game that isn't like top of the line graphically. And it also speaks into a not so video game topic of, I watched a video on this recently, movie studios remaking movies. So, like the new Ghostbusters movie remake, for instance, where they were just like, people like this, and it was a while ago, and it was a classic. Let's remake it for money, yay!
Oh,
and that's, that starts that whole discussion, which we don't really have time to start talking about that. Which I'm sure we'll eventually get to that at some point, either in a post or on this on the podcast. But I don't know. It just kind of sucks for the people of Rhode Island, and it sucks for the guys who are working on these games because I'm sure they didn't want to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I could care less about Kurt Schilling, though. No offense to the guy. Actually, a lot of offense to the guy. He said some really bad shit that I don't want to repeat. He was just a human piece of garbage.
Putting it nicely.
Putting it bluntly. Well, I mean, that pretty much sums up everything that we were going to talk about. Like I said, I didn't have too much crazy stuff to talk about. Didn't have a really big topic that we could discuss, but
it's been slow.
It's been a really slow week.
Kind of slow. So
yeah, next weekend I don't believe there will be a podcast. I have some family stuff going on, but I technically might be able to do it on Sunday. But I'm not going to make any promises. I'm going to aim on the side of probably not happening. Just a heads up to everybody, including Grunt, even though I've told him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. Do you have anything else to add, or we can wrap this up?
No. Not that I can think of. Really?
All right. Well, if you want to find us, I'm going to actually try to tie the stream into this here. No, actually, I'm not. I'm just going to show you the website. Either way, if you'd like to find us on Twitter, follow us, talk to us about random stuff, go right ahead. I'm at FranticJ3. He's at Onyx Spartan, ONYX Spartan, all one word. At Frantic_Talks is the official Frantic Talks Twitter account. We'll tweet about the articles and podcasts that we write that are actually up on screen right now. You can probably see 2 or 3 of them. Beyond that, there's facebook.com/Frantic Talks. It's all one word. That's kind of the same idea as the Twitter account, just less active, just because it's easier to tweet 100 things on Twitter than it is to post 100 Facebook statuses. You know.
That's also true.
That's kind of how it works. If you want to find all our articles and not have to worry about while following us on Twitter or anything for some reason, you can go to frantictalks.com, which is on screen right now. You'll see bunch of different stuff like our podcast. The last article we wrote was about banning the witch hunt, written by Grunt. Stop hunting down people cheating in games is basically what he said there.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a good way of summing it up.
There's a
don't try
Magic the Gathering. I can't even talk. What?
Don't try and harass cheaters. Even
yeah, don't. Yeah.
You know, even if they might deserve it, don't do it.
Yeah, don't. It's just not right. Doxing, essentially. I don't know. I guess it's not, but still. Magic the Gathering. Yeah, that's a thing. Magic.frantictalks.com. Me and my good friend Luke write about Magic. We haven't had any updates recently beyond me recording a podcast. Summer's a very busy time. He's actually been out of the state for the past month. So I haven't gotten to play Magic. So You don't get any... No, I'm just kidding. But I really haven't gotten to. Either way. Beyond that, I think that's about... you can follow us on YouTube to find the video versions of these podcasts, but there's no official URL until we get 100 subscribers. So just search Frantic Talks, you should find it. And if you have trouble finding it, if you go to the Frantic Talks website and click on a podcast, you'll find the video there. And you can click on the video and find the count.
Indeed.
It's a couple clicks. I know it's asking a lot, but hey. It's easier than telling you, here, put in 167275937 at the end of the URL. That's actually not the URL. I just made that up, but...
Oh, God. I was hoping you...
You're hoping I memorized it.
One of these weeks, you're just going to spout it off, and you're going to let it fly over my head until I go view the YouTube channel, and it's like, oh my God, he got that right.
Holy shit. I mean, I guess, depending on how long it is, I could just make a bunch of guesses, and technically, within time, I would get it right, but... The number of times I'd have to guess would be astronomically high. If anybody wants to do the math on that, please let me know.
But you love math. I know you love math.
I mean, I enjoy math, yes. Alright, other than that, you can follow us on iTunes. If you just search Frantic Talks, will show up. There's also a badge on the website when you click on a podcast that says, click here to subscribe. It's all pretty conveniently all right in that podcast if you go to the main website. And lastly, twitch.tv/FranticJ3, the third, THE, the number 3, RD. Some rat bastard took Frantic J3.
There we go.
Every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, beyond times where we maybe do it on Sunday, or we just don't do it. It kind of happens in the summer, but once we get closer to I'd say August, we'll be fine. It's actually August in like 2 days, but that's not the point.
Well, I mean, next weekend is technically August, so...
End of August, I guess is what I meant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be fun. Alright, I think that about... Huh?
New music next week for me.
New music?
Yes. Skillet's releasing their new album next Friday. I'm super anxious to get that. Shout out to them, by the way.
Shout out to Skillet. They're kind of good. Cool. Alright, I think that about covers it for us. If you guys have any input, any thoughts on our stuff we talked about today, hit us up on Twitter. If you don't remember the names, I said them. Just rewind it. But anyways, I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
We'll see you guys next time.